The atmosphere surrounding Gucci Shanghai already felt charged with the kind of excitement that makes every movement seem more meaningful than it normally would, with cameras watching, fans paying attention, and every small expression capable of becoming the moment everyone talks about afterward. Zhang Linghe was at the center of that attention, carrying himself with the calm confidence that has become so familiar to those who follow his public appearances, yet there was something about this particular live moment that suddenly changed the entire atmosphere. What had seemed like an ordinary luxury brand livestream quickly became something much more memorable when Tian unexpectedly appeared behind him, creating a sweet and surprising moment that immediately caught the attention of viewers. There was no elaborate setup that needed to be announced, no dramatic entrance that demanded everyone look in one direction. Instead, it was the unexpected nature of her appearance that made the moment feel so special. Zhang Linghe was already focused on the livestream, surrounded by the polished elegance of Gucci Shanghai, while Tian appeared in the background almost as though she had simply wandered into the frame at exactly the right moment. And that is precisely what made the scene so fascinating, because sometimes the moments people remember most are not the carefully planned ones, but the tiny, spontaneous interactions that seem to happen naturally before anyone has time to prepare for them. As the livestream continued, the attention remained centered on Zhang Linghe, but the sudden presence of Tian created an entirely different layer of curiosity. Viewers who noticed her could not help but wonder what had brought her into that space and whether Zhang Linghe was aware that she had appeared behind him. The contrast was striking. In the foreground was Zhang Linghe, composed and focused, while behind him was Tian, whose unexpected appearance immediately transformed the mood of the scene. It was the kind of visual moment that could make thousands of viewers pause their screens and replay the footage simply to understand exactly what they had just seen. Nothing needed to be exaggerated because the surprise itself carried enough emotional weight. The luxury setting, the bright lights, the live atmosphere, and the sudden appearance of another familiar face created a sense that something unplanned had slipped through the carefully controlled world of celebrity appearances. That tiny break from the expected routine was enough to make the livestream feel much more personal and unpredictable. What made the moment even more captivating was the feeling of timing. Zhang Linghe did not appear to be preparing for some major surprise. He was simply participating in the livestream, allowing the event to unfold naturally around him. Then Tian entered the visual space behind him, and suddenly the attention of viewers had another direction to follow. It was almost as if the background had quietly become part of the story. In a livestream, those little details can become incredibly powerful because viewers are not simply watching a finished performance. They are watching something unfold in real time, and that means an unexpected appearance can feel much more intimate than a carefully edited scene. There is a certain excitement in realizing that the people watching may have noticed something at almost the exact same moment. The result is a shared sense of surprise, with viewers wondering whether Zhang Linghe would turn around, whether Tian would remain visible, and whether another interaction might happen naturally. Tian presence also brought a softer energy into the scene. Rather than making the moment feel loud or overly dramatic, her appearance created a subtle sweetness that changed the emotional temperature of the livestream. The fascination came from how simple everything seemed. There was no need for a grand announcement. Her appearance alone was enough to make the atmosphere feel different. Zhang Linghe's calm presence contrasted with the sudden curiosity surrounding the background, and that contrast gave viewers something to watch beyond the official purpose of the event. It became a moment where the polished world of fashion and celebrity briefly met something that felt spontaneous. The Gucci setting represented glamour, precision, and carefully constructed presentation, while the unexpected appearance represented the unpredictable side of live moments, where something can happen that nobody watching anticipated. For fans who enjoy following Zhang Linghe and Tian, moments like this naturally create a wave of excitement because familiar faces appearing in the same environment can spark countless questions. Was the appearance planned? Was it simply a coincidence? Did Zhang Linghe already know she was nearby? Did Tian Xiwei realize she had entered the livestream frame? These questions are part of what made the moment so addictive to watch. Yet the most interesting part is that the visual itself does not need to provide every answer. Sometimes uncertainty makes a moment more memorable because viewers continue thinking about it long after the livestream has ended. A simple appearance can become a conversation, a replay, a screenshot, and a moment fans keep returning to because of the possibilities surrounding it. There is also something uniquely fascinating about seeing celebrities in moments that appear less formal than the usual appearances. Red carpets and official photographs are designed around presentation. Every pose, every angle, every expression is carefully captured. But a livestream can reveal a different rhythm. People move naturally, cameras shift, backgrounds change, and unexpected moments can suddenly enter the frame. That unpredictability makes viewers feel as though they're witnessing something closer to real time rather than simply looking at a finished promotional image. When Tian Xiwei suddenly appeared behind Zhang Linghe, that quality became especially noticeable. The moment felt like a small interruption in the expected flow of the livestream, and precisely because it was unexpected, viewers became even more attentive. The reaction surrounding such a moment can also become part of the story itself. Once viewers notice something unusual in the background, the entire focus of the audience can change within seconds. People begin looking more closely, replaying what happened, watching Zhang Linghe's expression, observing Tian Xiwei's movements, and wondering whether there is another detail they might have missed. That is the magic of a live appearance. A moment that lasts only a few seconds can generate much longer conversations afterward. What looked like a simple appearance can suddenly become the emotional center of the entire livestream because everyone wants to understand what happened and why it felt so unexpectedly sweet. And perhaps that is why the moment between the two names has attracted so much curiosity. It was not necessarily about a dramatic gesture or a major announcement. Instead, it was about presence. Tian Xiwei was simply there, appearing behind Zhang Linghe at a moment when viewers were already watching him closely. That small detail was enough to change the feeling of the scene. Sometimes emotional impact comes from what happens quietly rather than what happens loudly. A familiar person entering the frame can instantly make an otherwise ordinary moment feel warmer, more personal, and more memorable. The viewer begins paying attention not only to what is happening but also to what might happen next. Zhang Linghe's position in the livestream made the contrast even more noticeable. He remained the main focus of the camera, while Tian Xiwei's sudden appearance became something viewers discovered almost unexpectedly. That created a visual dynamic that naturally encouraged curiosity. People watching closely might notice her before Zhang Linghe appeared to react, creating a tiny moment of suspense. Would he notice? Would she stay there? Would the camera move? Would the livestream continue as though nothing had happened? Those unanswered possibilities are what can turn an ordinary background appearance into one of the most replayed moments of an event. The Gucci Shanghai setting also added another layer to the atmosphere. Luxury fashion events often create an environment that feels polished and cinematic, filled with elegant lighting, sophisticated styling, and an unmistakable sense of occasion. Against that backdrop, an unexpected appearance can feel even more striking because it interrupts the perfection with something spontaneous. The result is a scene that feels almost like a glimpse behind the polished surface. Viewers are reminded that even inside highly organized celebrity events, there can still be moments that happen naturally and unexpectedly. For many fans, the emotional appeal may come from the simple possibility of seeing two familiar personalities sharing the same space. That alone can create excitement, especially when the appearance happens without a long build-up. It is the surprise that makes the memory stronger. Had the moment been formally announced, viewers might have expected it. But because the appearance seemed to arrive suddenly within the flow of the livestream, the discovery itself became part of the excitement. People were not waiting for Tian Xiwei to appear. They noticed her, and that difference matters. There is something almost cinematic about the way such a moment can unfold. Imagine the camera focused on Zhang Linghe, the Gucci atmosphere surrounding him, the livestream moving forward smoothly, and then, somewhere behind him, Tian Xiwei enters the frame. The audience notices. The mood changes. Suddenly every small movement becomes interesting. The background is no longer just a background. It becomes part of the story. Zhang Linghe's posture, Tian Xiwei's position, the direction of the camera, the timing of the appearance, and the reactions of viewers all become pieces of a moment that was never supposed to feel this significant, yet somehow does. The sweetest part may be the simplicity of it all. There is no need to turn the moment into something it was not. A sudden appearance can be meaningful simply because it was unexpected. It can make people smile without requiring a dramatic exchange. It can create curiosity without providing an answer to every question. And it can remind viewers why live events are so compelling in the first place. They contain uncertainty. Anything can happen, even if only for a few seconds. That uncertainty is what keeps the viewer watching. Once Tian Xiwei appears behind Zhang Linghe, the natural instinct is to look again. Maybe there was a reaction that happened just outside the first glance. Maybe the camera angle changed. Maybe Zhang Linghe noticed her presence. Maybe Tian Xiwei moved away before the moment became even more noticeable. Every possibility creates another reason to replay the scene. And with every replay, viewers begin noticing tiny details they might have missed before. The emotional fascination also comes from the difference between public image and spontaneous moments. Celebrities are constantly surrounded by cameras, but not every camera captures the same kind of moment. A professional photograph freezes a carefully chosen instant. A live stream allows time to move continuously. That means unexpected appearances can feel more authentic simply because they were not necessarily created for a single photograph. The moment exists within a longer sequence, and viewers get to experience the surprise as part of the unfolding event. For Zhang Linghe and Tian Xiwei, this kind of shared visual moment naturally attracts attention because both have strong fan communities who closely follow the public activities. When the names appear together, viewers become especially attentive to small details. A shared event, a passing appearance, a background moment, or even a brief interaction can become a topic of discussion because fans are interested in every unexpected connection between the two. But the most important thing is to separate the sweetness of the moment from assumptions about what it means. A shared frame can be exciting without proving anything beyond the fact that two familiar celebrities were visible in the same environment. That balance is what makes the moment more interesting rather than less. The scene can be appreciated for exactly what it appears to be, an unexpected and charming moment during a Gucci Shanghai livestream. Viewers can enjoy the surprise, the atmosphere, and the natural curiosity without needing to force a larger explanation onto it. Sometimes a beautiful moment is simply beautiful because it happened unexpectedly. As the livestream continued, the memory of Tian Xiwei appearing behind Zhang Linghe would naturally remain in the minds of those who noticed it. The official event might have been centered around fashion, luxury, and brand presentation, but moments like this can become the emotional highlights that fans remember most. Long after the lighting fades and the live stream ends, people often remember the unexpected glance, the sudden appearance, or the tiny detail that made them smile. In this case, that detail was Tian Xiwei appearing behind Zhang Linghe and briefly changing the entire feeling of the scene. There is also a sense of warmth in the fact that the moment did not need to be complicated. In a world where celebrity appearances can feel highly controlled, seeing an unexpected face appear naturally can create a refreshing feeling. It reminds viewers that behind the fashion campaigns, cameras, stage lights, and carefully planned events, there are still ordinary movements and spontaneous moments. Someone walks into the background. Someone notices. A camera catches it, and suddenly thousands of people are talking about it. That is how a few seconds can become unforgettable. Not because they contained a huge revelation, but because they contained surprise. The viewer was watching one story unfold and suddenly discovered another story hiding in the background. Zhang Linghe remained the center of the livestream, but Tian Xiwei's unexpected presence quietly became the detail everyone wanted to talk about. The scene became a reminder that sometimes the most powerful moments are not the ones placed directly in front of the camera. Sometimes they are the moments waiting quietly at the edge of the frame. And perhaps that is why this particular Gucci Shanghai moment feels so sweet. It did not need an announcement to attract attention. It did not need a dramatic performance to become memorable. It simply happened within the flow of a live appearance, giving viewers something unexpected to notice and something warm to remember. The combination of Zhang Linghe's composed presence, Tian Xiwei's sudden appearance, the elegant Gucci environment, and the unpredictable nature of live broadcasting created a moment that felt spontaneous and visually striking. When viewers look back at the scene, they may remember the setting, the styling, the camera angle, and the excitement of the livestream, but the detail that stands out is likely to be that sudden appearance behind Zhang Linghe. It was a tiny interruption that somehow became the emotional heartbeat of the moment. It created surprise without needing drama, curiosity without needing confirmation, and sweetness without needing anything exaggerated. And that is what makes moments like this so powerful. They remind us that sometimes the most memorable stories are not announced beforehand. They appear unexpectedly, almost quietly, and then disappear just as quickly. But for the people who happen to notice them, those few seconds can remain unforgettable. Tian Xiwei appearing behind Zhang Linghe during the Gucci Shanghai Live was exactly the kind of unexpected moment that could make viewers stop, smile, replay the scene, and wonder what they had just witnessed. The livestream may have continued, the cameras may have moved on, and the event may have carried forward into its next moment, but once viewers noticed Tian Xiwei in the background, the atmosphere had already changed. A simple livestream had suddenly gained another layer of mystery and sweetness. It was no longer just about watching Zhang Linghe at a Gucci event. It became about noticing the unexpected, appreciating the spontaneous, and experiencing that small spark of surprise that makes live moments so memorable. Sometimes the smallest appearance can create the biggest reaction, and sometimes the sweetest moment is the one nobody announced. In the middle of the glamour of Gucci Shanghai, beneath the bright lights and surrounded by the polished atmosphere of a major fashion event, Tian Xiwei's sudden appearance behind Zhang Linghe created exactly that kind of moment. A brief glimpse became a story. A background appearance became a talking point. And a few unexpected seconds became a memory that fans could not help but replay, discuss, and treasure.